Hello traders, and welcome back to the Stop Hunter. In this video I'm looking at the Supertrend technical analysis indicator. It's very popular, very well used on all sorts of technical analysis charting platforms. It's great across markets, time frames, different chart types, and in this video in detail I'm going to pull it to pieces, show you how it works so you can utilize it in your own world of trading. Then we're going to wrap up with some strategy ideas and some back tests I've done on those to give you an idea of the sort of results you can get and sort of markets you can trade. So with that, let's get started. So by way of introduction to the Supertrend indicator, let's first of all talk about what makes it so powerful. So unlike other technical indicators, the Supertrend is really easy to understand, incredibly effective, I think, in identifying trends. It's a trend following indicator that tells you whether the market is an uptrend or downtrend based on price movements, and the simplicity of it makes it ideal for traders who want to gauge very quickly market sentiment without getting bogged down in the complex calculations. Now, 5 reasons why I think you should use the Supertrend. Well, firstly, its simplicity and ease of use, very straightforward and easy to interpret, as we will see. Very obviously identifies trends, making it accessible even for beginner users. Not very complicated, not too much maths behind it, and like I said, it gives a very simple visual representation of the trend, and it works very nicely across the different chart types. And second, effective trend identification. It's a trend following indicator and it excels at identifying that. It can, as you will see, help you stay in trades longer in the right side of the market, whether it's bullish or bearish, and will give you very clean and clear entry and exit signals, which is all great and what we want. And also already mentioned, number 3, versatility across markets and time frames. It's like I said, works nicely whether you're on the 1 minute chart up to the monthly chart, if you so wanted, on candlesticks or bar charts. You can flip it into Heikin-Ashi. It works on Renko, Kagi. It's a great all-rounder, and like I said, very versatile. And it's also very adaptive to market volatility. My 4th point, uses the average true range to account for market volatility, so that helps you stay in those trends longer, and very useful for volatile markets, maybe like Bitcoin or cryptos. And it adjusts, the indicator adjusts its level based on current market conditions, so that helps reduce false signals during periods of when, say, the markets are very volatile. So it gives you a more true trend feel than, say, maybe a moving average does. And finally, my 5th point here, customization and flexibility. Very easy and very simple to tweak the inputs, as you'll see, and fine-tune these parameters. Rule, always never backfit your data, but like I said, this can cater for adjustment and also your risk tolerance as well. So you can increase the multiplier, as you'll see, to reduce the number of false signals, just as a typical example. So the flexibility makes it a very valuable tool for the trader. Now in front of you I've got a daily Heikin-Ashi chart for wheat futures. They're the front month wheat futures, clearly illustrating the Supertrend indicator overlaid onto that price action with clear buy and sell signals. So how does it actually work? Well, there's 2 main components to the Supertrend: the average true range and a multiplier. The ATR measures the market volatility, and the multiplier's job is to adjust the sensitivity of the indicator. This is what the formula looks like. Pretty simple. That's if you're interested in maybe programming it into your own world or just getting a feel of how it works. Like I said, very straightforward. Supertrend upper band is just the high plus the low divided by 2 plus the multiplier times the ATR. The Supertrend lower band is the high plus low divided by 2 minus the multiplier times the ATR. It's simple as that. And when the price is above the Supertrend line, the indicator suggests an uptrend. Conversely, when the price is below the Supertrend line, it indicates a downtrend. Now, if we head on to the chart, but we were just looking at the week chart, we've got the indicator on there already. Where can you get it from? Well, you just go into indicators at the top of TradingView. If you're using TradingView, most charting packages are going to have this on, and you simply type in Supertrend. Now, in this example, I'm using this one by this guy here. I'm not going to try and even pronounce that, but it isn't as a default Supertrend. Why do I use this one? Because it just gives you the buy and sell signals on top of that. I just find it a bit more usable. So if I double click onto that, you then get the inputs to the system. Obviously, you can adjust the style, what it looks like, etc., etc., turn things on and off. But as you can see, the ATR period set to 10. This is based off the high, low divided to 2. You can change that around as well, but I'm just going to leave it as the default, and the ATR multiplier 3. So that is where we get into adjusting, fine-tuning the Supertrend indicator, but that is the general basic default setup. So how can we tweak and customize the Supertrend indicator? Well, firstly, let's start with the ATR period. We've got our input box still here, it's set to 10. Now, if you're trading on longer time frames, or you want to get rid of some of the noise, think about maybe increasing that number up. If we just say 20, you can see the effect. If we really ramp it up, let's change that to 50, see what happens. There we go. It's moving you can see the input slightly. Again, you can go around all day playing with these numbers to adjust them all. You want to set them back to defaults, just do that. Now, that is to, I would say, well, useful for getting really longer term trends and like I say, taking out some noise. Now, if we want to adjust for more volatile assets like, say, cryptocurrency or some stocks, then a higher multiplier can take out some of those whipsaws that you might have. Again, if we just play around with some of those numbers there, let's just take that up to 6. I'm making up these inputs. You can see instantly how it changes that, and then you change the ATR to 15, you've got a completely new picture, but you can see how it's affected against the price there, taking out a lot of the trend. Maybe more useful, like I said, for a longer term viewpoint. And also, how can you customize the Supertrend indicator? Well, I always suggest combining with other indicators to filter out false signals. For example, moving averages, or something like the relative strength index, the RSI. And just before we move on to strategy ideas and looking at some of the results, how about putting 2 Supertrends on your charts? I've made up the inputs to these. We've got 2 here. You could have a shorter term and a longer term one. Shorter term to get you in, longer term for the trend direction maybe. Just another idea for you to think about. Now, settings I've used on those 2, 10.3 and 2.2, just for example. I'm now going to spin you through 5 strategy ideas using the Supertrend tool in combination with other tools. We're going to look at different markets, different time frames. Remember, these are ideas. Do your own due diligence, do your own back testing. I've tested them in my way, come out with these numbers. Please do it yourself as well. Don't just rely on what I'm telling you here. Always do it yourself first, like I say, before committing any of your own hard-earned money. So let's get into those 5. So first up, we're using the Supertrend and the moving average crossover in the Forex market. We've got the euro dollar here, 4-hour time frame. The indicators we're using, the Supertrend with a 10 period ATR and a 3 times multiplier and a 50 period simple moving average. That's the white line you can see on there. How do we get in? We buy when the price is above both the Supertrend line and the 50 period moving average, and we get out, we exit the trade when the price closes below both the Supertrend line and the 50 period moving average. Now, performance stats on there, it's about a win rate of 58%, average profit per trade about 1.5%, max drawdown 7.8%, profit factor 1.6, and net profit over a 12-month period, it was roughly about 22%. So this strategy does well in trending markets, getting significant upswings, but it does give back gains during sideways markets, indicated by that drawdown of 7.8% there. So maybe factor in another tool to try and get you out of that sideways slippage. So secondly, we got a longer term one on the stock market. Well, this is actually on the S&P 500 using the ES1 ticker there. It's the Supertrend plus RSI divergence. So time frame daily, Supertrend is set to 14 period ATR 2.5 multiplier, standard relative strength index RSI settings 14 period. How do we get in? Well, we buy when the Supertrend indicates an uptrend and RSI shows bullish divergence, i.e. price makes a lower low and RSI makes a higher low. And we get out of the trade when the Supertrend flips to a downtrend or the RSI shows bearish divergence, i.e. price makes a higher high and RSI makes a lower high. Now, what results did we get for this one? Win rate about 65%. Average profit per trade 2.8%, max drawdown 5.3%, profit factor 1.9, and a net profit of 35% over a 12-month period. So combining the Supertrend with the RSI divergence, effectively captures significant market reversals and minimized false signals. It's got a high win rate and a pretty decent, I'd say, risk-reward ratio. Third up, we head to the world of cryptocurrencies. We're using Bitcoin here. Daily chart, Supertrend is 10 period ATR 3 times multiplier, and the standard MACD settings 12.26.9. So this is the combination here. How do we get in? We buy when the Supertrend indicates an uptrend and the MACD line crosses above the signal line, and we get out when the Supertrend flips down to a downtrend or the MACD line crosses below the signal line. Now, performance stats, win rate of about 60%, average profit per trade 3.5%, bigger drawdown, this time 10.2%, profit factor 1.7%, but over a 12-month period, 40% net profit return. So we do capture the significant moves of Bitcoin, especially during periods of strong momentum, and the MACD helps confirm the entry points and therefore reducing the likelihood of entering trades during consolidation phases. And fourth up, we've got a commodities market example for you here using gold, and it's just the Supertrend on its own with the settings 14 period ATR 3 times multiplier. How do we get in? We buy when the price closes above the Supertrend line, and we sell when the price closes below the Supertrend line. Now, performance stats wise, slight edge there, 55%, average profit per trade 1.2%, max drawdown 8.5%, profit factor 1.5%, and the net profit 18% over 12 months. The Supertrend indicator alone here in this example does give you okay signals, especially when the market is trending, and gold has been doing that of late. However, without those extra indicators, it does make it more vulnerable to false signals during sideways or volatile periods. And finally, we've got our fifth example. It's the Supertrend plus Bollinger Bands, an example for indices. Here we've got the NASDAQ 100, an hour time frame. It's the Supertrend 10 period 2 times multiplier, and the Bollinger Bands with standard settings. Let's just check we've got those right. Let's take that to 2, so we're speeding it up just a bit quicker. You see that tightening in there, and the Bollinger Bands, those white lines there, see the 20 and the 2 standard settings. How do we get in? We buy when the price closes above the Supertrend line and the upper Bollinger Band, and we exit, we sell when the price closes below the Supertrend line or re-enters the Bollinger Bands. Now this one had a win rate of about 62%, average profit per trade 1.8%, max drawdown 6.7%, profit factor 1.8%. Net profit 25% over a 12-month period. Now this combination, Supertrend and Bollinger Bands, good for capturing breakouts and continuation trades, and it did perform well, capturing short-term momentum, but it does require careful monitoring to avoid trades during consolidation. So there's 5 examples for you there. Like I said, they're ideas for you to explore further and test. I've done them on short back tests. Back testing is a hugely important part of the process. You've got to make sure you've got the right elements in place in the back test to give you proper results. But hopefully this can give you some idea of how you could use the Supertrend. But one last look at using maybe Supertrend on different chart types. Here's the Supertrend again on the NASDAQ 100. Don't worry about the inputs to this. It's just to show you what it looks like. It's the Renko charts, my favorite chart types. See how even more clearly it stands out. The noise is reduced even further. So, it's worth having a look at other chart types. So I'm going to do more videos around Supertrend and Renko coming soon. So don't forget to hit the subscribe buttons and notification buttons in the channel so you get warnings when that content comes out. But just another illustration of how you can adopt the Supertrend into your trading. So there you go. Supertrend looks a really good tool. If you're going to use it, remember what I said in the video, do your own testing on it first. Got some good ideas for you there. Really good for spotting the trend, getting in and out. Great little tool to add to your technical analysis arsenal. Now, if you've liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. It all helps the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell button as well to get notification of new content. Now, just to let you know, if you want to master the world of Renko, you saw that last chart that I showed you there in the video. Got a great playlist on the channel. Work your way from top to bottom, come through the other side as a master of the Renko chart. And also, we've got a traders club now on the YouTube channel as well. That video, if you want to find out more about that, also coming up right now.